Wireless microphone. Can we hear ourselves now? Yeah, I think we're Gucci. I think we are nice now. Wireless microphone. Can we hear ourselves now? Yeah, I think we're Gucci. We are nice now. Right. So I hope that you guys can hear me. Welcome to the stream. I know there's no one watching it at the moment, but we're gonna get started regardless, right? So let me just start the other stuff, like a soundboard, for example. So we have some form of humor in the stream. I have also got to make sure the chat is open all the time. We're Gucci. So let's test the volume of the soundboard. There you go. Okay, right. Now the problem is the soundboard is being picked up by my microphone as well. That's not ideal. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put my headset on and hope that it just works fine. So let's do that. Okay. This is what happens when you set up the stream a minute before you're supposed to actually stream. Like, brother, disconnect. There you go. Thank God. There you go. Now my microphone should not pick it up in any way. There you go. Much better. So, finally, welcome to the stream. Yeah, as I said, we're going to be picking up an old C++ project that I had. In fact, this project predates COVID, believe it or not. So it's something I was working on before COVID happened. I remember it very well. It's just one of the graphics projects I was trying to kind of use to learn, well, to relearn graphics at the time. And if I'm not mistaken, it was a audio visualizer, right? So I might have done that on the stream before. I might have picked it up, but never properly. Hello, Anton. How's it going, dude? Good to see you on the stream, man. So let me just take you guys through it. So I think it's this one here. Wavy Tune. Terrible name. I'm sorry. I know. But it's this, and you can see that the last commit was about 3 years ago. I think that might have been a commit on stream, if I'm not mistaken. So we can take a look here. More changes to the shader code. November 2022, right? So yeah, this would have been a stream code, which is interesting because I don't remember streaming anything about this at all. But to take you guys through it, the original project is supposed to be a very, very basic OpenGL program, right? That also uses port audio to kind of play out an audio, and we do things like, with Fourier transform. Or we do a fast Fourier transform on the audio windows to actually display the graphics on the screen. I don't think I fully ported it though to CMake, because originally this was a Visual Studio project. And even though this is the interesting thing, even though the original project is somewhere else, I think it might be on GitHub as well. So Wavy Tune. There you go. So this is the original project, right? Which is like literally 6 years ago. And I did it as a Visual Studio project, as you guys probably know. I still remember writing it. I still remember sitting there on the sofa and then like figuring out some issues that I had with the Fourier transform and trying to get it to actually draw like the audio bars on the screen. It was very interesting. So yeah, anyway, I enjoyed writing this. So let's hope that I can enjoy continuing with the project now. So that's the plan for tonight. We're just gonna like look at what it does. I can't remember how it works, to be honest. I remember writing some of it, but as you can see, who remembers what they wrote 6 years ago? I mean, I don't. We've got Coke Zero, so it's gonna be a fun one. And aside from Coke Zero, tell you what, you guys know what this is? This right here, the fucking lime. And with the lime, right, you put in the Coke, and boom, you've just upgraded your Coke Zero. The most delicious drink ever. There you go. Drop a like for that shit. Now my hand smells of lemon, so. Hello Slim, how's it going, dude? So yeah, we got 1.5 liters of Coca-Cola, so we can do a fill up later on. We're going to need it. It might be a long stream, so I'm feeling productive today. So let's see how much we can get done. I say this and then we go straight into it, and then we get stuck on like a Conan build or some shit for like 2 hours. So that would be fun, wouldn't it? Oh, that's delicious. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, let's get started, right? I don't think I've got this cloned already, unless I've done it before and I don't remember. So let's go into development. Do I have wavy tune here? No, I don't. Yeah. The reason why I don't have it is because I had to like format my machine at some point. So even though it's the same machine, I don't really have it anymore. Salve. Arturo Hernandez. Welcome to the stream, man. I suspect you are Brazilian, right? That's why it's the safe in there. Right. Another interesting point is that this project, even though I started turning it into like a CMake Conan project, you can see here there's a Conan file. This is actually Conan 1. Yeah, this is actually Conan 1. So we need to do like a small change in here real quick. I might just use AI to do it for me, or in fact, I'm just going to copy it from a different project. So if I move base64 Conan file, oh no, not even that one. What is a better one? In fact, let's just copy. Sorry about that. You guys are probably getting like the Windows hit a few times. I don't know how to remove it, actually. That's an interesting one. Let's look at the emulator, right? So 65K Conan file. Do I really have no Conan file? I don't. God damn. Let's see where we can copy this from. I'm trying to think of a project that I recently used Conan 2, so I can just copy and paste it instead. Do you think Conan's better than this VC package? At the moment, yeah. At the moment, Conan does about it for me. I haven't used VC package in a while, though, so. What is a project I can bring shit from? Damn. AOC maybe? No, AOC is Rust. Rocket launcher, links, no, it's TypeScript. Yeah, I don't know. I like VC package better. Just more Microsofty. Yeah, dude, you're selling your soul to the big techs. That's what you're doing. Selling your soul to fan companies. Maze, yes. Yeah, Maze, yes, might have that. Okay, so if I go into AVTune, if I copy Maze, yes, that one there, Conan file, there you go. But it's also TXT. Yeah, fuck it, I don't care. Let's just copy here, really. And yeah, we just gotta make sure that we're using the Conan 2 stuff. I'm just gonna convert it by hand, really. Which means we're going to be looking at the documentation of Conan again. Sorry. You guys probably do that a lot here on the stream. So sources, metadata, methods, running Conan file example. What is this what's this dark mode? Jesus Christ. Is there an example here? Is there an example anywhere I can copy from? No, dude, I don't want to write my own Conan file. Oh gosh. Come on. I just said Conan's better than the VC package, but it turns out that on the examples at least, they are kind of lacking a little bit. There you go. So yeah, it was the class name. That's the one. This is Conan's. We probably just want that, and it's from Conan file. That's why. Do we have Conan file? Do we have Conan installed? Yeah, we do. Right. What's our version of it? 2.2. Right. I guess if we can do a pip reinstall upgrade Conan, we might get a newer version. Right? Yeah, 2.15, there you go. That's quite an old version for Conan already. Anyway, doesn't matter too much. So what we do want to have is attributes, package, reference. We definitely want to have the requirements, I think. I think that's the new directory, the new... the new module name. Package reference sources, requirements, there you go. Requires that. Tools requires. Sources. Really? There was no requires? I thought there was. Requires. This is Conan 2 as well, right? Requirements, there you go. That's how I wanted to do it. So we've got that there. We don't care any of the imports. Right? We probably don't care about them for now. Although we might because of glue. Yeah, and what we're going to do is, so expected indented block. Yeah, we do have an indented block, right? So just format the file. There you go. Yeah, now we've got to make sure we've got all these dependencies in, right? So that's just a matter of going into Conan.io and finding them. So Conan Center. First one is glue. It's going to copy and paste whatever is here. Okay, glue 2.1.0. It seems to be the right version already. Anyway, oh no, it's 2.2. Right, GLFW for the window in. Hello, Muslike. How's it going, dude? It's good to see some of the OG people here on the stream. Yeah, Friday turns out that it's never really a good day to stream because everyone's kind of doing something or having a drink with their friends. But if you're a loser like myself, I guess you'll be Cody, right? So we want to do GLM now as well. Wait, what? GLM is on version 1? Jesus Christ, I thought these guys would never do it. They've been on version 0 for like decades. They finally released their first version. First stable version, which is crazy. Who needs friends when you got AI? Of course, man. Of course, man, it's great to see you too. How things been? Yeah, they've been good, man. They've been good. Busy at work again, but this week was a very productive week. You know, like when you actually manage to be productive at work and you complete like 2 or 3 different features in a week and you feel great because you can demo all of it. That's how I feel this week. So it's pretty good. So I can't complain. So GLM, we've done that, G-test and GSL. So Google test, easy one. We're on version 1.16 here. And GSL as well, MS, GSL. It's not the scientific one. We want the Microsoft GSL, there you go. I'm not sure if I've spoken about the Microsoft GSL library to you guys before, but basically there's this crazy, like if you are learning C++, by the way, I know we're getting quite a few chats here, you probably want to follow the C++ guidelines, right? Which is just this huge page that I guess Diane Strauss-Schop and Herb Sutter wrote. Last edition was in October last year, really. But this contains like all of the good tips that you should probably use in your code to not have bugs, right? To make sure that your C++ is smart, to make modern, to make sure you're not going to get any interesting like memory issues, to avoid common types of like styles that will eventually lead to bugs. And a lot of this stuff back in the day, I'm not sure if it is anymore, but a lot of the stuff back in the day just wasn't supported by the standard. So for example, they support a cast for conversion or narrowing conversions. There you go. Narrowing conversions. And then they'll like propose that you should probably use a particular like STD, like static cast to do it, or sorry, a static conversion function to do it. and it's just not available on the standard, right? I'm trying to figure out like a particular good example here that I remember very well. There's always expect, right? So we have like expect here instead of asserts. So this, for example, is straight up not supported by the C++ standard, and it's something you have to use Microsoft GSL for. But yeah, Microsoft came up with this very kind of interesting and useful implementation of those guideline support tips, I guess. So yeah, do use it if you want to follow the best guidelines out there. Right, Kuruma, bro. I see protobuf and stuff everywhere. I saw your Conan confile. Any suggestions to learn it? So protobuf, right? Yeah. Oh, GTX, how's it going, man? I didn't realize. I thought that was Muslight talking. But what was I saying? Yeah, protobuf is interesting. It's a huge library, actually. It's obviously used when you want to kind of serialize things and send things across the wire. It's actually been like an industry standard kind of thing in like maybe a decade or so. But there isn't much to learn apart from just like trying to actually use it on a project, make sure that you can compile, you can use the protobuf compiler and include the headers on your, the generated headers on your project with CMake. You can like automate all of that. But it's essentially just a serialization library. It isn't, there isn't much to learn per se. I would recommend checking out flat buffers as well. So flat buffers is something I've been hearing quite a lot. And it's supposed to be a little bit better than protobuf in terms of like efficiency and the way it lays out the data. But I've never tried it. I heard that it's pretty good. Again, it is by Google, so it is supposed to be kind of like the successor to protobuf. I'm not sure about adoption yet though, but it's something I've been meaning to try for quite a while. So yeah, check that one out as well. What do you think of the beef of safety in C++? People are saying to create new Rust for future system projects. I mean, the beef between C++ memory safety and I guess Rust has been there since the start of Rust, right? I do agree with the most part though. Like I think obviously if C++ was a language that was a little bit more modern and we didn't have to wait 3 years for every standard, that kind of shakes up the entire like standard library implementation anyway every time it comes out. We might have had, better memory safety and tools that aid you in finding bugs as part of the language, instead of just having to like install all the Clang tools or static analyzers and shit like that and sanitizers on the side. So I don't really see it as a beef, if it makes sense. I mean, I mostly agree with the Rust guys. Yeah, I mean, if you can use Rust, if you're just creating a backend for a website and you want to have memory safety, use Rust, right? Don't use C++ because you have bugs in it for sure. But at the same time, there is a need for C++ and there is a need for C, which is like, computer graphics is an example of them. OS development is another good example. So yeah, I mean, you just got to suck it up and make sure that you learn all the tools that you need to actually help you finding those bugs. Yeah, I mean, going the extra mile to actually learn how to use static analyzers, how to use memory and address sanitizers isn't that difficult, to be honest. So if you're doing C++ professionally, you should learn those things anyway. But yeah, I mean, out of the box, C++ is literally worse than Rust, right? In terms of like memory safety bugs and whatnot. What do you think of the beef? Very interesting. Didn't know this existed. Yeah, you learn something new every day, GTX. I see that people use it for networking and stuff. Don't know what it does or making it faster. That's why I asked. All right, so you don't actually know what protobuf is, right? So protobuf, think about it this way. You've got a structure, a C++ struct, or a class for that matter, and you instantiate it many, many times. You have like many instances of that. You want to send those things across the wire. So you want to send those things across a socket, or you want to just simply save it locally or something like that. You can use protobuf to serialize it. So serializing is the act of getting that in-memory like instance of a class or something and turning it into something you can later like load in a different system or in the same system. This is literally what protobuf does. It serializes stuff and deserializes it on the other end, right? So you can, and it does it very efficiently, so you can actually send it over the wire, and there's no like not a lot of overhead anyway in terms of data. But yeah, that's what protobuf does. So I'm interested in GRCP. So GRCP, yeah, different thing, but we're gonna go into that, I guess. We had a workshop with the company, and I suggested it for inner data center communication. I also suggested Redis as a caching layer. They told us to put our names on a paper. Yeah, that's good. I mean, you've just volunteered yourself for a lot of work, and I hope you understand that. Didn't get an email back though. I don't care though. I have a job. Yeah. Also, protobuf saves. Yeah, so that's an interesting one. So gRPC, which is Google's, RPC implementation, right? Uses protobuf under the hood to send the data required to run some code, like on a server, on a remote server, right? So that's what the gRPC stuff does. It uses protobuf internally. And yeah, compared to JSON, it's going to save a lot because, you know, protobuf is a binary format, right? It's going to serialize your stuff into like pure binary. If you think about it, JSON, you have to like serialize everything so it's kind of nice to display in text, and that's what you got to do, which means you lose a lot of like potential there, right? Especially when representing like numbers, for example. Like you can represent an int with 4 bytes, but if you want to represent a very, very large integer that's still like 4 bytes long in memory, that might take up more than 4 characters, right? Which it will. So that's just an example of things that are more efficient in protobuf. Anyway, we've talked enough about this. Let's get into the code. So I think we've got enough here. So we have to basically copy all of this, paste it here. We're going to create a quick thing, a macro, and we're going to do self.requires and that. So now if we do RL, do we do it? Yes, we do. So free RL, boom. That's what we're going to do there. I need to go back to this and figure out what I actually need. So I have build requirements. Man, this dark mode is shit. Whoever's developing the Conan website, can you please stop and figure out how to get dark mode running on this? So, all my backend homies use gRPC. all my backend homies, man. What the hell? I don't actually have any backend dev friends. Fair enough. I'm gonna use that on the stream. All my backend homies. I'm just gonna go, yeah. I'm gonna tell my girlfriend why I'm not coming to bed with her tonight. Like, all my backend homies are online, bro. I need to stay on. I need to stay on. Everyone I talk to doesn't know what it is. Yeah, it's not a big deal, man. Where's my... Oh my god, my Coke Zero's here. It's right under my eyes. Oh, my backend homies. GTX, I love you, man. I love you so much. Yeah, so generators, that's what I'm looking for now, right? So generators, build generators, self-generate. Is there an easier way to tell it to get CMake tools or something? Generators, there you go. So that's kind of what I need. CMake depths and CMake. It used to be CMake find package, now it's no longer that. All right, I kind of think that this is all we need, right? So in theory, we should be able to delete this one and come in here and do a Conan install or Clang 17. What is that version of Clang? Clang 17, yeah. Actually, let me take a look at what my profile is. Pilot version 17, yeah, we're good. libcxx, libstd C++11, okay, right, yeah, nice. Yeah, that means we can do a Conan install, I guess, on this. In fact, let's install the dependencies in release mode. Conan dependencies, release mode in debug. There's like a slight trick. It's one of those things if you're working with Conan. By default, you can only like build, or you can only Yeah, you can only bring debug dependencies into your debug build, but if you're doing a debug build and you want to just build your dependencies in release mode because you don't really care, right, if they're doing what it says on the tin, then there is a slight thing you have to do. Use release dependencies, yeah. So it was one of these here. There you go. That's the one. I don't really know what it means. I just know that this is what you got to do if if you want to. Take care. I gotta go. Thank you, Slim. Thank you for joining, man. And make sure you like the video before you leave. Almost lost the Coke Zero. Catastrophe averted. I like to volunteer for doing more work. I have one minor project and one major one in my first month for my internship. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, volunteering for more work, in your workplace is definitely going to get you some creds, man. So I hope you get paid for that as well. Because if not, then there's no point, right? So output folder is going to be equals to Conan rel, I guess. What is the problem? Settings and expected argument. Oh yeah, it's supposed to be here. What the fuck? Argument as settings, an expected argument. Which one is it though? Which one are you talking about? Go and install that. Build release. Build equals missing. God damn. So this one doesn't work actually. Let's try that one. Indeed, that's the case. Currently, there is a limitation on CMake depth. In order to avoid adding extra variables, you can... Okay. The shit they suggest doesn't actually work. Yeah. Does not actually work. Now it does, I guess. Right? It was just a matter of adding... Right, so package gtest version 16 is not resolved in remotes. Are you sure about that? Wait, we need to get that actually. So what is the soundboards, right? We're gonna get that soundtrack of what's his name? John Cena going like, are you sure about that?
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
There you go, that's the one I wanted. God damn. I'm so glad we can find it. Right, internship time. Hope I get a steady job with this. But working in Excel in large data set is painful. It is, man. So I hope you're enjoying that very much. I will ask my boss if I can have Python installed on my work laptop. Pretty please. I don't see why they shouldn't let you, dude. It's gonna increase your productivity. That's how you gotta phrase it, right? So if you work with Excel and you want to do things in Python, because you can use Python to manage your Excel files, right? You can just say that it's gonna increase your productivity by 2 times or something. And they won't say no to it. I guarantee you. They won't say no to you. Right, so we're going to put that in here. Oh gosh. Right, don't want to expose my downloads. Right, can we add a new one here? You sure about that? File path is going to be that one. Hotkey, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th one. Save it, right? Why did it not save it? God, I've got to do it again. You sure about that? Search. Has it saved? Yeah, it's saved now.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
There you go, that's better. Right. So, yeah, that was my answer to this. Are you sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure I saw the right version. Component center. G test. What? don't understand what's going on here. Can you guys see this? So gtest 1.16. And what do we have here? gtest 1.16.0. So the question is, why? Oh, I think I might. There you go. The remote is now frozen, being replaced with that. That is why. This is why it wasn't working. They've changed the remote a while ago, so I just got to do this. Now, so now if I do Conan install, there you go. Beautiful. It should just work, right? Except it doesn't. Can't find this binary in the configuration. Missing pre-builds. Okay, so we can do that, right? So we can do a build equals missing here. That should fix it. Yeah, while we build, let's chat, guys. Let's chat. Save now. Are you sure about that? It's painful. I already use Python to make cool graph plotting trend lines. I will show my boss and tell him I need it. Yeah, dude, I'm sure your boss is gonna love you. The C++ compiler is not able to compile a simple test program. Yeah, because you picked the wrong fucking compiler. That's why. Again, I'm not sure why it's picking the wrong compiler. So Conan 2 profiles default, right? So let's just. I'm supposed to have some variables in there. Oh, fucking hell! I needed to burp, but like, I didn't want to make it obvious, but it ended up just being more embarrassing. Right, so Conan profile. No, this is not the right one. Conan profiles here. Environment. There you go. Run environment. Build environment. Okay, yeah, we want it in the build environment, right? So I guess what we do here is we add the build environment. We add cc is equals to clang 17. cxx equals clang plus 17. Right, let's see if that works a little bit better now. What do we have here? There you go, build environment. Okay, yeah, it's picking up the right compiler. We're Gucci. Dude, this is what I mean. Like, when I do a C++ stream, I just feel like way more productive than whatever. I was in TypeScript back, well, last stream, right? I just don't know TypeScript. I don't know why people say it's easy. It's not easy. Like, dude, there's 101 different things you got to learn before you even show your hello world application on the screen. C++ is much easier to learn in that sense. I don't know why people complain that they can't learn C++. Dude, if you know what fucking set state does in React, you can learn how to compile your own program in C++. It's not useState, that's the one. I don't even know the name. If you learn how to use useState in JavaScript or in TypeScript, you can learn how to compile your program in C++. That is a hot take. Just saying. Do you know about the book Concurrency in Action, C++? No, I've heard of it. I've never really read it though. CMake is more painful than C++, to be honest. Yeah, CMake is more painful. That I agree. I agree with. But it's still easier than trying to figure out like 7 different configuration files for like every dependency ever that you're pulling into your NPM project. Just saying, right? Right, so we've got something here. Now, do we have... Oh. Damn, what is that? What have I done here, bro? What have I done? Let's just remove all of that. Let's just remove all of that because we did it the wrong way. What even is that? I don't even know. It's a bunch of... Yeah, we used the wrong shit. I hate React. I would rather make UIs in plain C. Yeah, dude, but it's just more painful, right? I mean, you've got all the nice UIs there for you. Right, so I can remove all of these things, right, I guess. Okay. Remove that stuff as well. Remove that, remove that. Remove Conan toolchain. Yeah, this is what happens when you guys, yeah, run Conan with the wrong app, with the wrong stuff, right? So what we want to do here is an output folder equals Conan rel, I guess. Output folder. There you go. We should be a little bit better now. Oh. Miles, sorry I'm a bit late. What are we building? Dude, welcome to the stream. Try Vue or Svelte. Yeah, I've heard those two are much nicer though. Yeah, I've heard from people that like React is just a horrible framework compared to the other alternatives, right? But I've never tried the other ones. So yeah, the guy who used to make fun of us for being too stupid and saying that we were only going to be front-end dev is now a front-end dev. I'm not a front-end dev, and I know that. A lot harder than it seems. Anyway, going Smile, welcome to the stream, dude. I don't recognize the name from before, so I'm sorry. I apologize if I don't remember you. But this is, I believe it's a graphics audio visualizer project that I started writing 6 years ago. We're picking it back up now. We're trying to get it compiled in the first place to see what it actually does before we continue any of it. But yeah, stay tuned, bro. The Conan route. Like, now the next thing we have to do is remove this user preset because we don't really care about it. We're going to delete that. We're going to bring our own user preset in here by removing that one as well. Now I'm going to just plug this from a different file. I might copy it from base64pp because I know that has a pretty good one actually. Or in fact, my emulator, right, 65K. We have CMake presets. I'm just going to copy that here. Yeah, if there's one thing you guys need to learn in CMake is how to write your own preset. Because presets in CMake will allow you to basically like move your project to different computers and have it built in the same time with the same variables, same compilers. All of the settings are just in the presets. So that is one of the things that you learn how to write once and you never have to write again, basically. So, and it's really, really helpful, in my opinion. Really, really helpful. My first stream, cheers. No worries, man. Make sure that you like and subscribe, right? That would help me out quite a lot, man. So, not too long from now, I hope that we have like a something being shown on the screen. That's my guess. I prefer Vue just because I started when it was class-like syntax. No, I don't want to think. I don't want to write CMake. We have ChatGPT for that. Yeah, ChatGPT is not going to get you everywhere though. See, when you come across that CMake error that no one's ever seen before, you will like wish you had actually learned CMake so you could debug it. But yeah. But I guess ChatGPT will do most of the work for you in CMake, right? So the first thing is like we need to reload the window now and load the preset. So CMake preset, right? CMake, delete and configure. There you go, beautiful. So what we want to do is probably do the Clang debug, right? Yeah, Clang debug. So yeah, we're gonna get some errors because it's not gonna find some of the libraries I'm supposing here. I can see that though. Yeah, there you go. So it's not gonna find any of these, right? That's fine. There you go. Which means we need to create a Conan preset for it. So let's do that here, I guess. Let's name is gonna be Conan. Hidden. We want that to be true. Cache variables. Yeah, this is the interesting one. CMake module path is the one we care about. And that's going to point to, I think it's going to be source directory. No, what is it called again? There is a variable for this. The workspace for source dir, yeah. Source dir, Conan, rel, and it's actually CMake toolchain file that I want here. CMake toolchain, what is it? Where is it actually? Conan toolchain.cmake, yeah. That's all we want, right, from Conan. Which means that now we have to inherit those in, where are we? So this is Unix rel Ninja. So yeah, we inherit from here. We put Conan, so that will automatically pick up Conan, and this will also pick up Conan, right? And then we can delete the cache and reconfigure, Conan, delete cache and reconfigure. We want Unix Clang debug. That's the one. So I can see whether or not it found the preset. Like chill bro, that's just fine. Right, sorry, I missed some of the chat. Prefer view, okay. There are tens of frameworks. Yeah, there are tens of thousands of JavaScript frameworks. We all know that. Correction, I will jump out the window at that time. Okay, dude. I honestly just want to try Laravel. Oh, PHP now, yeah? We went from JavaScript to C++ to PHP. I like it. I've heard very good things about it. And there is a niche job marketing there surrounding that. Yeah, so Laravel is one of the things, or PHP is one of the tech that's kind of coming back around, right? So we call it the great rollback. So everyone used to do PHP back in the day, then everyone switched to like React and Node on the back end. And now everyone, like a lot of people are just going back to Laravel, which is PHP. So it's a great rollback for sure. Now I'm in this for it. I'm in here for this. I used to write PHP back in the day, so I would love to work in it again. I just, I probably wouldn't find a job straight away in it though. So what is the problem? What have we? Export compile commands, Unix deb ninja. Let's remove some of this shit, right? Because I don't think we need all of it. So for example, we don't need the VS 2020. Oh, we might keep those around. But definitely don't need those. Unix release ninja. Yeah, we don't want shared. Oh, I don't care about the GCC build. So what is this? I don't care about the VS shared build. Do I care about Unix shared? No, I don't. Really don't. Unix Ninja, I do care about that one. Ah, it's Clang. Clang 19. So, yeah, we can use Clang 19. Do I have Clang 19? Oh yeah, I do. I do have Clang 19. Interesting. I don't want the compiler scan depth shit though. We are not using modules now. We are not going to do that. We're not going to get started on that, in fact. Right, this is, in theory, everything I need, right? So we got the Unix rel ninja and debug. Let's remove that one there. Unix debug shared. Well, I forgot to create a debug, but we can just do that on the go. Unix deb ninja. Unix deb ninja. Change it to debug in here. Unix debug ninja. Okay, yeah. Good. So if we delete the cache and reconfigure. Right, so we got a few. Our employer is still searching for people with C++ is still useful to get a job. Yeah, of course, man. Of course. An example is my company. We are searching for C++ developers now. Right, something is wrong here. Expanding preset. So I could not find configure. Wait, what? Ah, yes, because we forgot to remove all of that shit in here. Right, so we removed that one, for example. We removed that one also. Remove that one. We removed Unix deb shared for sure. We removed that one. Ninja, we removed that one. Okay, right, so. Could not find configure preset name shared. Did we leave Unix debug ninja? What? Shared. Okay, so that. Okay, right. Finally, god damn. Right, so we've got the colon 2-chain file there. Beautiful. Could not find glue. Missing glue include libraries. Right, why is that? It's because glue is just glue, right? So that is because in the CMake, we also need to change that to just glue here. Delete cache and reconfigure. Let's go. Right. Here are the things I want to learn properly. C++, Python, Laravel, go. See how JavaScript is not there? Yeah, I see that. Yeah, you made it very clear. I know I programmed in PHP and that was pretty okay. Yeah, PHP is good though. It's just the simple fact that you can include code in your HTML is really interesting, right? Which is what like a lot of languages try and mimic. So for example, TypeScript, right? So you think of React, you've got JSX inside it, which is essentially just a way to include JavaScript into like HTML or XML-like languages. Downside on that is that it has to be transpiled into JavaScript, which is kind of shit, right? If you think about PHP, you include it right into the HTML, and the PHP interpreter itself will not transpile anything. That is the code the interpreter is actually running, which is really cool, really, really cool. Golang, you've got, well, if you watch the streams, we've got the Urchin series where we use this thing called Temple, right? To essentially do that as well. So we put Golang code in HTML, and the Temple compiler will then kind of transpile that into actual Golang. And that is something that PHP has been doing for like decades now, right? So it's really good at it. It's really, really good at it. I've heard everyone wants to go to web apps now. No desktop apps anymore, hence C++ is not desirable. Yeah, but the thing is, you still have performant applications, right? So if you work in AI, for example, there's going to be a lot of C++. If you work in graphics, there's going to be a lot of C++. If you work in things like audio engineering, there's a lot of C++. These are not desktop applications per se. They are more like infrastructure code per se, I guess, or just something that's running on a cloud machine somewhere. But there's still a lot of C++ everywhere, dude. They are searching for it. You will get a good boost if you can at least say that you know it. Yeah, I think the job offer I got from a company was precisely because I mentioned that I managed to speed up my C++ code by 8 times by parallelizing it. Yeah. So just, yeah, that's a good point as well. Just knowing C++ will help you get a lot of other jobs out there because it is, in theory, a language that's very universal. So like if you learn C++ or C for that matter, you can essentially pick up any other language because it has all the foundations, right? It has all the things you have to worry about, like memory bugs and do you know how to solve those things? Do you know how to do parallelism, like threads and stuff? These are things that come up in interviews quite a lot, so it's definitely worth learning anyway. Plot twist, I have 8 cores. No, I just want my perfect picture in the background, okay? Guys, the chat's going too fast. You're a front-end dev. Yeah, Anton is a front-end dev, yeah. He's a guy who helps me quite a lot with TypeScript. Why do I get excited when I think about big infra, big data? That's why I want to learn C++ and Python. Yeah. So, yeah, Python and C++ go hand in hand. I mean, think about NumPy, for example, which is the basis of every AI fucking library out there. And that's entirely written in C, right? So you have to like interop with C and Python. So knowing how to do those things is definitely useful. Is it better to have projects on your CV or a ton of leak code? I mean, I find it better to have projects. Not just for the sake of the CV, by the way, just for the sake of you learning it, right? If you start a project and you finish it, you're going to learn quite a lot of stuff. There's going to be quite a lot of problems you're going to have to overcome. And those are things you can talk about in interviews, right? So, okay, so compatibility with CMake will be removed in a future version, blah, blah, blah. Right, so what is the first error here? Graphics linked to GLFW, right? So why do we need GLFW? There's some errors in the CMake. We're just fixing them little by little. GLFW 3.4, right? So it is in graphics CMake list. So glue, right. First of all, what is my GLFW? God damn, what did I do here? This formatting is driving me crazy. Right, anyway. GLFW config targets, that's what we've got to look for. Right? GLFW. What is it called, my man? Alias anywhere? GLFW targets. God damn. Set property target GLFW append, target property, target GLFW append, there. Libraries debug. Okay, where can I find that shit? Setting it here. I just want to see the name of the target. That's something we even need to do, to be honest. So we do have GLFW3 there. But the target was not found. Possible, there's a typo in the target name. Yeah, I mean, if I just put GLFW there, it does work, right? Ah, we've got targets debug. That is a problem. That is a problem. Yeah, so that we got rid of that one. Oh. Yeah, no, we're going to leave it as that. I can tell you what it is. We're just going to get rid of this command here, really. There you go. That means we're going to have to build some stuff for debug, but it is what it is, right? Yeah, CMake, well, Conan has this annoying thing where some libraries only work in the right build type. So if you're building a project in debug, you can only include GLFW build from in debug mode as well, because it has some logic to figure out like what the build type is, and if it's the right one, if it matches, it's going to actually expose the what do you call it, the target names, and that's what's happening now. So yeah, I guess we're building everything in debug. We don't really care at this point. Matt, did you say your company are looking for C++? Maybe I might apply if I know the name. Yeah, so we're hiring people in London. You can find me on LinkedIn, dude. I'm not gonna say that name on stream just in case I get fired for not being able to do that. But if you want to find me on LinkedIn and you live in London, go for it, man. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to be saying these things on stream, to be honest, but please don't report me. Right, so reconfigure now. Sure, thanks. That'll be perfect. Yeah, just find me on LinkedIn and I can say what company it is. Right. There you go. We've got GLFW here. Ah, okay. So we don't actually have GLFW. It's just GLFW, which kind of makes sense, right? Which probably means we can actually go back to the previous Conan thing that we had. Yeah. So basically, every time we say GLFW, we just want to do a GLFW. And here too, right? Hey yo, hello Robin, how's it going, man? Oh goddamn, we've got 5 people watching now. This is crazy. How's it going, Robin? Back to C++ now, dude. Struggling with CMake again. Okay, so now in theory we've got all the dependencies. Now, is it going to build? Absolutely not. Position is not used. Absolutely not going to build at all. Position is not used. What? Private. Okay. So it knows that we have a, oh, didn't match a corresponding file. Like, why not, dude? Source include. Do we have a bunch of stuff like settings.json, workspace settings, and if we do CMake.copy, we're not getting IntelliSense here, so compile commands.json, right? And I believe that on my CMake presets, I should also say that. Export compile commands. Yeah, all of them have it. Okay, nice. So delete cache and reconfigure should do. GTX, what do you think is right? But it's the research. Going good, hell yeah. So my C++ is new. So my C++ is new or wrong. It's never wrong, yeah. Never wrong, of course. Okay, we've got compile commands. Do we have clang D though? I can't remember if we do. Do we have clang D? Like, damn. We don't have clang D. Yeah, we do. We have it and it's enabled, right? Clang format. Clang D, yeah, is up and running. Okay, right. Let's just reload the window and see if we can get IntelliSense now. This should, in theory, work, right? This should, in theory, work. Clang format, and we've got CMake. Where's CMake? There you go. All right. Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of errors because we've got like all warnings enabled. So we're going to fix those before we can compile. Can I do this? Yes, fine. So we've got IntelliSense running now. For those interested, we got IntelliSense by just enabling clangd and making sure that we have the compile commands JSON. You can go back into my settings JSON and copy that. It's going to be the same thing. So let's remove the shit that we don't use, right? So for example, we can comment that out. And we're going to do this one by one, make sure that we have everything. Unused parameter width, window width. It's not been used at all. Yeah. Okay, is that going to fix it? Title.cstring, yeah. So this is creating a window. Can I format the document as well as I come along? Okay. Unused parameter window again. Why? Okay. We do it one by one, boys. This is how we do it. What is the project about? I think this is supposed to be a very, very bare bones audio visualizer, right? So I think it draws some stuff on the screen based on what audio is playing on port audio, if I remember correctly. So I will need to take a look, but we have like a Fourier transform implementation here that I remember sitting for hours to do back in, well, before COVID actually, which is a very interesting story. I don't know whether we have the application. Yeah, there you go. We do have some stuff here with audio. So in theory, like if we can get it compiling, I think it already shows the bars of whatever audio is playing. And if I'm not mistaken, it's doing square waves at the moment. But it's going to take us a little bit of time to actually figure that out. There's a lot to go through, as you know, as with any unearthing project. cannot find you on LinkedIn, Matt. So you're gonna have to search for my name, dude. So my name is Mateo. I'll put it here. I'll put it here. There you go. You can see it there. I'm not gonna paste it here because I don't want people to see it on the chat in the future. But pause it, pause it, and you'll get it. Well, in that case, I'm gonna grab a beer. It's Friday after all. Yeah, of course, man. Enjoy yourself. I've got my Coke Zero here already. It's gonna be like so many errors. Fatal error. Shaded abstract file was not found. Ooh. So this is the first problem. Abstract shader. I think we've reached one of the files that we don't really have. Yeah, see, we don't have abstract shader header, but I know where this project came from, so I can kind of copy it. So it's a matter of copying it from the right place, right? Which is, I think, is this one here, Wavy Tune? Yeah, there you go, there you go. Abstract shader, there you go. So we're gonna copy, we're gonna raw copy it. And it's supposed to be, what is it supposed to be? Abstract shader, shaders, abstract shaders, right? So it's supposed to be here, I guess. New file. We've got Pragma once there. Let's move it to, I guess, Linux non-Pragma or whatever it is, include headers, right? So we have shaders, abstract shader header. Copy that, define, boom. Remove that, and then do an end if here. Okay, so in theory, this one should be fixed now. The only problem is like abstract shader. Why does the abstract shader have a implementation? Very interesting, isn't it? Yeah, we do. Okay, let's see what we get here. Shaders abstract shader. Abstract shader is not found. Okay, yeah, so it's supposed to be HPP, that's why. Okay, we're getting there, we're getting there. So freeglut is not available in abstract shader. That's because this target should really define glue public. Okay, interesting. What do I need freeglut from? Do I even need it? No, I don't even need it. Okay, let's just remove that. So outline definition abstract shader doesn't match declaration abstract shader. Right. So we have a byte array of 500. Oh gosh. I don't even know what I'm trying to do. So I guess the point for this class was so I store the shaded data into a byte array and pass it to this abstract shader, right? But I need to figure out like what the hell is it meant to be? So we don't have any bytes here. Where is my abstract shader meant to be? What is byte array? Where does it come from? std int, we don't need that, I guess. Byte is just a character. I connected. You will know who I am. You've been paying attention. Yeah. Can you recommend the useful libraries to learn if you want to work with C++, like GLFW maybe? It depends on what you want to do, man. Like if you want to learn graphics, then for sure, yeah, go for GLFW and learn OpenGL, and then maybe Vulkan later on if you're really keen. But it's going to take you years to learn that. I don't think you need any libraries per se, man. Just pick a project, figure out like what capabilities you want. So do you want to create a GUI project, for example? In which case, yeah, you might want to have to learn something like Qt if you want to do it like fast. You might want to learn like IMGUI if you just want to keep things simple and then just have it all in the same window. Yeah, the truth is I can't really recommend anything because it depends on what you want to do. Depends on what you want to do. We will define byte as uint because it seems like the best cross-platform representation for uninterpreted bytes. I'm glad that I left myself a comment for my future 6-year-old future or 30-year-old future self. Thank you. Past myself. Still makes no sense though. No, it still does make sense. Yeah, so byte array is just an array of a byte, I guess. Why do I need that? I don't know. What was I doing here? So abstract shader is supposed to have data. Where is abstract shader? Do I have it anywhere else? Because I don't think. There you go. I don't think I need this class at all. Right? Fragment shader. No, we do. This is clearly representing shaders in OpenGL, right? I think that's what I did here. But I'm trying to figure out why I need this abstract shader class. Because I don't know. I think that's one of the first things I'd like to do. Probably remove all the bloat from this. Correction, I followed. You probably want to connect if you followed, right? Let's see here. Okay, let's allow that. Let's see if I can... Oh, I just connected my phone. Please don't hack me. Yeah, I see you. I see you, GTX. And Anton as well. Hello, Anton. I'm going to check out your profiles later, my mans. But yeah, nice to know you guys in person, I guess. And welcome to LinkedIn. Yeah, so... See, it's called abstract shader, but none of the... Apart from this one here, apart from GL enum, get GL enum, nothing else is abstract. So like, do I even need this class in the first place? Because I don't think I do. Right? I don't think I do at all. Do I have compile here? See, like, this has already got all the OpenGL code I may need. Let's remove this shit. Why can I not find the corresponding file? It was just there. So I need path, I need address, I need a text reader. What is a text reader? I don't even know what a text reader is. What do I use it for? Don't tell me it's just to read text, because I'm gonna die if I wrote that code when I didn't need to. You can just tell like how bad I was at coding by just reading this. Like I created this abstract shader class that is not abstract in the first place. Like it's not a pure virtual class in C++. And then I also created a class to read the text from a file called text reader, instead of just using the std straight away. Damn, that was bad. How did I get hired? In your job, do you get training and talk support, or do they just want you to go and figure out things out? You get a bit, but yeah, I mean, ideally, in any job, you want to kind of figure things out yourself, right? You want to be independent, for sure. But if you're starting off, yeah, obviously no one's going to expect that you know everything. Which is, yeah. Abstract shader. I am very much contemplating just changing this class. Very much, just like removing it from existence. Like, what was text reader in the first place? So if I look at this one here, text reader, if it's literally just has been indexed, try again in a few minutes. What? They've never indexed my code. Interesting. Yeah, let's try and figure out what is this. Is it going to be in utils or something? Graphics, abstraction, shaders, renderers, tests. A pointer to a text reader, which I pass in, I guess. Abstract shader.cc. What is the text reader? File IO. Whoa, I created a file IO class. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? And I pre-compiled the headers as well. Like, this makes zero sense to me. It's Friday and my boy knows it. Yeah, we do know it, bro. Welcome to the stream, Carlos. Make sure you drop that like, boy. Please. Wait, what was that? Where I closed the soundboard. Oh no. Sorry guys, I thought I was playing audio here and I just couldn't hear it. But let's see, what is the third one? There you go. That's what I meant to do. Right, we're back with the soundtrack. Yeah. See, we're gonna need this for sure. So we're gonna need compile, 100%. We're gonna need error. I don't know about that. So it takes a string path, right? So let's revert back, right? So const std string or std path there. I'm going to remove that because I don't really care anymore. I'm going to make it compile. Do we want to move it? Do we want to move it? The only, like, this is how bad this code is. The only reason why I need all of these movie and copy constructors is because I had a forward declared pointer here to text reader, which I absolutely don't need at all. Just don't need it in any way because it's just a call to the C++ standard library to read a file. So I was so stupid, you have no idea. You press dot when you enter GitHub mode. A bit confused there, Robbie, my guy. The mysteries of the you from 6 months ago. It's not even 6 months though, it's 6 years ago. Think about that. No chat. How do you know when beautiful messages get through? Do you guys recommend any particular books? My man Smiles is here to get the learnings, bro. So just give it to him. Rip chat on screen. I just struggle with my project for simulating rigid bodies. Or just browse other people's code on GitHub. I'm gonna give you the best tip ever, man. Just go out there and code, dude. There's nothing better than that. Go out there and code, pick a language, pick a project and do it, man. Just do it. Right, yeah. So we don't need that shit. We don't need that. I don't think we need a destructor there. Which means we have path. Yeah, we have the path there. Unsigned, we generate the buffers. Okay. Shader exception. Where is this even used, my man? Oh, there. Throw shader exception, right? We throw, okay. Is this something I could put in a namespace? Abstract shader. Yeah, this is something I can put in an abstract namespace. Sorry, in an anonymous namespace. For sure. And if we're being pedantic, that as well. Shader exception, where are we? There. Const star, what? Okay. Wait, what? This doesn't make any sense. This is supposed to be inside a class, right? Oh man, this is crazy. Like I'm getting choked on my own code here. Right. Shader exception. No, it's still not there, boys. It's still not indexed. Fragment, geometry shader. This was an abstract shader. So did I have shader exception in here? No, I didn't. So that is new, right? Let's remove that as well. We don't really care about the error at the moment. So if the address is not 0, do this. If it is 0, we just return false, right? That is it. Or even better, this logic is just if address is 0, we return false, and then the rest of the stuff just goes on happily ever after. And that is it, right? That's good. That's the implementation of compile, which we do need. Yeah, we need to compile a shader. And it's the same for all of the other shaders, I think. Right? Ah, we have a get shader type. Right? Get shader type. Get shader type is not there, but it should be here, right? So if we look at abstract shader, it's also not there. Get shader. So int get shader type, override, const override, right? So this was supposed to be here as a private, I guess. Which is supposed to return an int, I guess. So int get shader type. Right, so GL create shader. It's whatever this is supposed to take, which is a GLU int, I think, but we can check that. Docs.gl as usual. We love it. We absolutely love docs.gl. GLS available in create shader program. What? Create shader. gl.create shader, which is in glue. Okay, so why is create shader not? It's an OpenGL 4 thing. Anyway, what does it fucking take? It takes a GL enum. GL compute shader, vertex shader. Okay, so it's supposed to return one of these things. I'm going to use ChatGPT to figure out, so not Chat, but Claude, to figure out if this code is correct. I don't want to use OpenGL 4 though. I thought 3.x would be fine. So create how to create a shader with OpenGL. I've heard there's a Juice framework which might be good for this kind of stuff, but I have no idea. Yeah, Juice is a very big library for very big C++ library for audio programming. It's a paid one as well, so it is probably the best one out there, if I'm honest with you. I'm not sure if it's free though. I'm pretty sure you have to pay for it, but it powers like a lot of software out there, like a lot of the professional audio editing software. They will always use Juice, for example. So one of the best programmers in audio programming that I know of as well, Timmer, I think that's his name, works for them. So yeah. What's his name again? I forgot his name. This guy. This guy's really good. I think Timmer is his name, yeah. Timmer. So yeah, if you're interested in audio programming, watch Timmer. Watch Timmer's C++ CPP conferences. I've watched them like so many times. It's insane. But he's really good, and I'm pretty sure he works or used to work for Juice. Yeah. But where is the fun using a paid library when you can hack together your own solution? But you have, yeah. I mean, the fun is that Juice is a professional library, right? So it's meant to get you going with audio. Whereas if you're working with a very low level audio interface, then you're going to struggle. It's not easy to figure out what they already have. So right, we've got the vertex shader, fragment shader. So I'm looking at the calls that I have to make at program IV address. So if the address is 0, so if we do path that an address, is that the right stuff? No, it's meant to be path like that, address like that. Okay, just want to compile it a little bit to see what else is gonna be thrown. Path is initialized when used here. Yeah, it is. It is uninitialized, yeah. Okay, return a valve line definition. Compile differs from the type. So this is meant to be a Boolean, right? Boolean compile. That should disappear now. Beautiful. Now get shader type. This is something we have to do. We have to get the virtual type of the shader in a GL enum format. Pretty sure. So get shader IV. How do we get the address here? So how are they doing it? Create shader, vertex shader, GL uint. So create shader is not anywhere. Yeah, no, GL create shader is here. So yeah, okay. And this, get shader type can be the actual function we use. So get shader type, right? We have that there. This is going to be a GL enum, which is good for us. And we can kind of, it's not private, this is public. We do get it from abstract shader. Abstract shader. And HTTP. GL is glue here? Yeah, glue is there. There you go. That should be a little bit better now. We don't want to pass that in. We probably just want to pass in the stud string path. We pass the path in there. We probably want to include string there. Again, this one, bullshit, don't need that. And then we can, in here, we can get shader type. Const override. This one is not const, right? Yeah, it is const, right? Good. So, okay, yeah, we can return that GL fragment shader. Good. And we do the same thing for every single one of the other shaders, right? That we currently have. So we have geometry shader here, same fucking thing again. We do want to include from shaders, I guess. Abstract shader. do include that, and then we do include string here, GL there. So we've got that. Geometry shader, we want to take a string const path there. We just want to put the path to the super class. Remove that one. Remove that because it's no longer that, and then get shader type. Boom, boom, pow. Gotta get that. I have to go to sleep. See ya. And no worries, GTX. Man, thank you very much for joining, dude. And I hope everything's going well with your life, man. I do appreciate the support. Don't forget to like that. Don't forget to drop that like, though, when you drop. But have a good night, man, and I'll see you later. Although the direct competitor of Qt is Lua and Electron, right? No, I wouldn't say Lua is the... No, Lua is definitely not a competitor to Qt. Qt is a whole framework for UI. Lua is just a scripting language. Electron, maybe. I wouldn't say it's a direct competitor because it's made for JavaScript, right? And Qt is for C++. So anyway, those are different things for sure. Good night, man. Good night. So yeah, it doesn't work in override. I'll tell you why. When you see that error in C++, it's because you haven't declared your function virtual, right? If you do that, it's going to work. So if we look at that again, override suddenly works. And the only problem is that we need GL enum here and also GL enum because we want to match whatever is on the superclass there. Okay. And then we do have the vertex shader, which is kind of more of the same, really. Okay, so in theory, this should be okay. Now, going back to the abstract shader, I'm trying to understand this class because we need to fix this to actually build the project, right? So we're getting this bit by bit. So string data, data. So we don't have the data here for the string. And we need to read it from the path, right? So as a little, as a little workaround, we're going to include fstream here. And we're just going to read it from fstream. Not even the best way possible. I'm going to just create a namespace here for it. What am I doing? Read file contents and then we return iStream buffer iterator or something. iStream buffer iterator of character where we do, right, this is the interesting bit. So we want to do std input file stream here, or file stream, I guess. File, where it's going to be coming from the path, right? So we have std string const path there. Gosh, I'm getting tired, but I want to keep going because this is quite interesting. So we get the path there, and if we say if not file, we return empty, right? In fact, should we make it very modern anyway? We're going to put optional there, and in the main CMake lists, for us to make use of that, we do need to set a standard to 20 or something. Standard require is a must. Optional, which is good, and then this one can be an optional of a string there. And if the file is not available, we return a null opt in here. So this is, if the file isn't valid, the path is not valid or something like that, we return a null opt. Or if it is valid, we return iStream_buff iterator of character, and we do begin file and the end iterator, right? So begin or file. Is that correct? Wait. There was a way to read C++ file iStream_buff iterator. It was like a very elegant way of reading it, and I forgot how to write it. This is embarrassing. This is very embarrassing. This might be a strange question, but what's a good spec for a computer for a coder? Dude, a good spec for a coder is a computer that will compile things. It doesn't need to be that good, to be honest. Is it to max out everything or just RAM? Honestly, just any good laptop will do. Like, you're not going to be working with GPUs straight away. You're not going to be working with AI straight, like running your own models and shit. So if you're just learning to code, man, any cheap laptop will do. Just learn it. And I'll tell you what, once you learn and you get your job in coding, you can then go away and buy a better laptop from the money that you've made with coding, right? That would be amazing. So, right, how to read a file stream with iStream_buff iterator C++. There is a very, very elegant solution. There you go. String content, iStream_buff iterator of file. There you go. That's the one I meant. Yeah, so we got a begin and the end iterator. Oh gosh, what did I do? There you go. You won't find a better way to read a file. You saw it here first. We could even kind of remove that, I guess. So if we do stud make optional or std string, now we can do that first one and then that second one. Right? Something like that. No matching call for make optional. Initialize a list. Okay. Yep. Okay, we just got to be explicit here. That's fine though, we can do something like that, right? So there, and there. Format document, of course. Boys, right. Yeah, why did I do that? So we can do string data. We can simply have it in here. Now we can say read file contents, I guess. Okay, maybe file contents, also const maybe contents equals read file contents. And then we have path. Something like that will do. And then in here, we kind of know that we have the size, right? Yeah. Address, string data. String data, what should be the string data in this case? Did you try cursor ID? I haven't yet, Anton. I have tried Copilot a few times though, and I'm gonna say I don't really enjoy it, but I'll try the cursor ID for sure. That's something I've been meaning to try. It's interesting because like in my workplace, we're not actually allowed to use AI assistance for writing code, believe it or not, because it's like, I guess, work in defense and stuff. They don't really want to get caught in a lawsuit. So at work, at least I don't use any of these tools, but at home, yeah, for sure. So read file contents. That is supposed to be, what is it? Shader source, right? Shader source, what is it? Docs.gl. GL shader source. In GL3, what do we take? Like, bro, am I still online? Yeah, I'm still online. So this is just not working, I guess. Docs.gl is just ceased to exist. Nice, anyway. GL shader source. OpenGL4. So yeah, that's the thing. It takes a pointer to the pointer of the string. So it's a char star, right? So a string specifies an array of pointers to strings containing the source to be loaded from shader. So you can have many sources. Oh. Yeah, this is a two-dimensional array of strings. That's fine though, we can just pass a double. So what is data size? Maybe contents? Size, I guess? But that will return me an integer, right? So what I really want to do here is also const that shit and then do a static cast into an integer of that. That's more like it. It's easier to use Linux, in my opinion, on installing compilers and building dependencies. All right, I see. So you're using it primarily to get like your terminal commands. Is that what you're saying? And yeah, for sure. Like, to be honest, when I don't know a command nowadays, I always go to Claude anyway. Great. So this here should be the pointer to the C string, which is weird. So it's maybe contents is the pointer to maybe contents of C string. Cannot take the address of an R value of type const char. Yep, you can. That's correct. Auto const. Wait, what the fuck is? Oh my god.
Huh?
So it's supposed to be a pointer to a GL const GL char star. Right, yeah. I got it. It is just that though. It is the pointer to the pointer. So basically what I have to do is like auto star const, or yeah, auto star const. Okay, const, yeah, there you go. So now I can do this, which is stupid, really. Right? Yeah. It just needed a pointer, like an actual place in memory that's holding that pointer. Ridiculous. And compile source, yeah. So in theory, this is all the OpenGL code you need there. It was a question from chat. What do you want to use Linux or Windows for development? Oh, right, it was a question from chat. Right, sorry, I missed that message. Yeah, I don't know. What did you say? Did you Linux? Yeah, of course. Using Linux is much easier for sure. Flag delete. Right, this is flagging that a shader object can be deleted at some point. I'm not sure if we're going to need this at the moment, if I'm honest. Flag delete, is that something I did here? No. Get address. Get address is there. We can change it though. And get compile message, alright. Get address const returns address. It is a constant, right? Get compilation message is here as well. My laptop is really old, so Linux might actually feel speedy compared. Yeah, yeah. If your laptop is very old, just get a distribution that is lightweight, and then you'll be fine, dude, for sure. Get compilation message. What is the problem here? So is it string const string abstract shader? Non-void does not return a value in all control paths. Does it not? Does it really not? Yeah, in here. What? It does though. Every control path returns something. Why is the compiler so stupid he can't figure that out? Okay, go and be happy now, I guess. Oh, it doesn't match the declaration. Get compilation message, const, right? So this is the declaration. String message, get compile message. Get compilation message. All right, yeah. Oh no. Yeah, let's leave it as it was. This one has to change, I guess. Oh. Yeah, so we are returning something here, right? Which is return true. And we can get rid of this one, I suppose. Okay, yeah, we're making progress for sure. Making a lot of progress. Bro, what is this? What is this? Wavy tune source main. Brother, what is that? Let's remove this. Because I have no idea what this is, and what I even need. Yeah, I'm fairly certain I don't need this file at all, so let's just remove it. Fairly certain of that. Data structures, sources, bytes. There is no source in it. Oh my god. Delete permanently. Yeah. Something will fail though. CMake list in here. So if I do data structures somewhere, there you go. This one will fail for sure. And this can be removed, I guess. This can be removed too. That can go. This can go. This can go. This can for sure go. This can go. And the rest is just compilation commands, right? So reconfigure. Let's see if it fails. I feel like we're fixing one error of creating like 5 or 7 elsewhere, which is fine. One day these things will stop and we'll be able to figure out what we were trying to do, right? So the command failed. Add subdirectory, incorrect number of arguments. Line 18. Okay. Okay, right, that's better. Now, I don't know where we stopped, but it would be somewhere in the shaders, I guess. First errors first. Oh, we have a matrix implementation. I wish I didn't do that. I wish I didn't do that. Error field end calls will be initialized after this field. End calls will be initialized after field data pointer. Pre-order. So what order did I do? In here. So it's data pointer, rows and columns. Right, so it's data pointer. Yeah, we can kind of reorder this, right? So data pointer is supposed to be at the start in here. Rows and columns, right? That first error should disappear now. This one here. Data pointer, rows and columns. Yeah, so this is also wrong, I guess. Should really be... It should really be there. This is like my own mess implementation of a matrix multiplication. I wouldn't bother trying to explain this to you guys. It's just messy code that I didn't really have to write at all. But apparently I wanted to 6 years ago. So source main, we can remove that. Bytes array, hello 1. Okay, yeah. Nothing named byte vector from and to. Right. Okay, so shader. So, why do I have another shader class? That is my question. What's the intention of it here? So it is in graphics, which is separate from shaders. And we do have compilation message here. Where am I using this? So shader. If I see where this is used, and if I match the stuff as well, looks like a huge refactoring. Too many files are marked red. Yeah, they are. It's a huge refactoring, man. This is a 6-year-old code that I'm trying to port to CMake. So it's going to be huge, yeah. And I'm questioning every single thing that I wrote because I don't think some of this stuff should be here in the first place. So like I've got the same shader class in 2 different places. So I'm going to have to remove one of them, for example. I'm trying to figure out which one. So this class here is really not used in many places, right? Create a shader program. I think we're going to remove this. I think we're going to remove that one. This one here. Because it's like just the same thing as the other one. So remove that permanently. Remove it permanently here too, I guess. Now we've got shader program in shaders and shader program in here. This is another one. Yet another one, boys. So what is this shader program in the first place? Let's figure out. So a shader program is obviously 3 shaders, right? So we have the vertex shader, fragment shader, a vertex, geometry, and fragment shader, and an address for the program, which is given to us by OpenGL. We don't have shader here, even though it is there. So this is confusing. Okay, yeah, this one is easy. We just Okay, yeah. Still a little error there. So we fixed that one. Okay, let's build that again. Just to get rid of some of the errors. Then we have a builder for the shader. Oh my god. It's like I'm watching, reviewing people's work at work. When you think, like, when you see like something extremely complicated, this is what I'm thinking about myself 6 years ago. Which is, yeah. Dude, how did I code like this? How did I live with myself? But anyway, I think the shader program here is going. Or maybe no, this is a better implementation of that, to be honest. Yeah, this is a much better. This is a shader pointer. What is a shader pointer? Yeah, my man. I think I tried to refactor this, but I didn't finish it. So I'm gonna go back to the original. Shader program looks better though. It's just a compile shader, which is just an address apparently. Oh gosh. Oh my lord. Give me strength. Give me the strength, because I return compile shader. It is in shader program. Compile shader. It's a namespace. What the hell? Where's compile shader? Where's that even used? In 2 places as well. It's in create shader program. All right, I see what this is kind of doing though. Like we've got the data for the free shaders, vertex, fragment, geometry. This is abstracting the idea of a shader program in OpenGL, right? So it keeps a reference to all the data, holding those. And the function I use to create that is create shader program in here, which in turn will create shader program there, which in turn will compile each shader and make sure no error occurred, right? There you go, yeah. Shader type. Okay. Yeah, so this should be okay, I suppose. And then it creates a program, sends the shader programs to shader program, right? That's all it does. Okay. It's not too bad, this one. Ah, okay, and then I have the set uniform functions. Yeah, okay. So this is doing a little bit more than that. So this controls the entire shader program. You can do things like setting uniforms and whatnot, like data to access on the actual GPU program, which is the shader. Okay, yeah. Unused parameter, unused shader program. I'm not sure I didn't turn this into a class. That's my only mistake here. Because this whole thing should be like one class. But yeah. Yeah, I'm removing the other one. I don't think we need this one then. Shader program can go there as well. Camera, I might leave there though. Get up direction, yeah, we might need those things. All right, boys. This is a interesting one. What I think is going to happen is I'm going to try having a go with this, and then if I can stream again on Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to try and like bring something working for you guys. So I'm going to continue working on this on the weekend. So I might actually do some like chill sessions on Discord tomorrow if you guys are up for it. If you want to learn some C++, or why not? Just watch me code. Or even here, who knows? I might stream again tomorrow, who knows? And yeah, I think I'm going to call the stream here though, because I'm getting quite tired and this is not fun for you guys. I'm going to be honest. I understand that you don't want to sit here and watch me fix every single mistake, but I will fix this in the meantime, and then we can actually get to some good graphics programming in the next stream. But with that said, it was nice seeing most of you, so thank you all very much for joining. I hope that you've learned something, or at least you had some good chats with me, right? Or the chat. I appreciate everyone who's watching, who's still watching me. So thank you very much, especially you, Anton. Yeah, I read your message today, like asking me if I'm streaming. I was like, yeah, why not? I wasn't, by the way, but you pushed me that extra mile. So thank you very much, dude. With that said, boys, I'm gonna call it a stream here. I'm quite tired and I'm gonna get some sleep. So until next stream, and I guess we'll see each other next time. Bye bye.